In the 5th century BC, a generation of Jewish refugees made the long trek back to a ruined Jerusalem. They had just spent 70 years trapped in the shadow of Babylon, living under a brutal foreign empire. Returning home forced a confrontation with a crushing reality. The city was gone, the temple was ash, and the people feared their status as a chosen nation had died in the exile. This is the historical backdrop for 1st Chronicles. It functions as an active blueprint for a new era, written to pull a demoralized people out of the rubble. A society recovering from total collapse needs more than a list of their ancestors' mistakes. To survive, they need a heroic, unifying identity that proves they still have a reason to exist. That goal becomes clear when you compare Chronicles to the older records of 1st and 2nd Samuel. Samuel provides a gritty, unvarnished account that explains the political and moral rot that led to the nation's downfall. But the author of Chronicles intentionally edits out King David's darkest moral failures. The affair with Bathsheba and the ensuing family scandals are gone, replaced by a focus on David's ideal kingdom and his devotion to worship. The author is creating a highly curated director's cut of Israel's history. This editorial filter serves a specific theological goal. It shifts the nation's focus away from past condemnation, aiming their sights squarely on their future potential. These first 9 chapters are a massive wall of genealogies. Though tedious today, this data was a lifeline to returning exiles. Tracing their lineage to Adam proves Israel's God is the sovereign creator of humanity, not a localized deity defeated by Babylon. The list methodically narrows through history until it reaches the 12 tribes. It provides a direct, verifiable link proving that the returning refugees are the legitimate, unbroken continuation of God's ancient plan. For people who lost their land and wealth, these lists were their most valuable possession. They were absolute proof of their national identity. With family lines established, the narrative moves into the epic, idealized victories of King David and his warriors as they secure the kingdom's borders. But the military conquest is only the beginning. The story moves toward a spiritual climax, the ecstatic, musical celebration of bringing the Ark into the heart of Jerusalem. This brings us to the core of the book, chapter 17. God makes a covenant with David, promising his bloodline will hold an eternal throne. By presenting a David scrubbed of his mortal scandals and linked to an eternal promise, the text transforms him from a flawed figure of the past into a living prototype for a future divine king. Despite his devotion, God bars David from building the permanent temple. His legacy is too tangled up in the blood and warfare required to secure the land. David pivots, spending his final years as the master architect and quartermaster for the project. He hoards insane stockpiles of gold, iron, and massive cedar timbers for his son, Solomon, to eventually use. The physical materials are only half the work. David orchestrates a staggering human logistics operation, organizing 38,000 Levites into highly specialized divisions of gatekeepers, judges, and a 4,000-piece worship band. This administrative obsession highlights a core theme. Centralized, highly organized, and joyful worship is the true foundation of a secure society. The narrative reaches its conclusion with David's final public charge. In a massive transfer of authority, he hands over the divinely inspired blueprints for the temple to a young Solomon. David's instruction is direct. Solomon must find the courage to actually execute the massive building plan. This speech serves a meta-purpose. The chronicler is speaking directly through David's mouth to the families standing in the mud of 5th century Jerusalem. Just as Solomon was tasked with building the first temple from his father's plans, the post-exilic generation is being commissioned to finish the second temple. The chronicler weaponizes this idealized golden age to provide a trajectory for the future. Every polished memory serves as a benchmark for what the nation could become again. By centering the history on the Davidic Covenant, 1st Chronicles sets the ultimate stage for the son of David, the awaited Messiah. The book's power lies in its proof that God's plan survived the exile. It offers a shattered people the blueprint and the hope they need to rebuild their world.